Hello again, Lockpicking Paul here. What I've got tonight is quite an old lever padlock. This is a Bulldog, it's an English padlock. Works beautifully. And it's a bit more of a challenging pick. I had some trouble with this. So I got it as a Christmas present and I had a little poke around and I couldn't make progress with it. And that's because my tensioner, that normally goes in here, and this is one of my cut down ERA 975 keys. It fits it absolutely fine, but there's not a lot of space between the key and the top of the lock. Okay, so let's try a big 6 key. A little bit more space, but actually that hole, there's an inner plate. And that inner plate is either misaligned, but it's a lot closer than most other locks. And also that center pin, the post upright, is quite large. And this hole here is actually too big for that post. There's some slop there, which means this tube here is quite large. So once this is in and you get a pick wire in there, it actually binds on the inside of the lock body. In fact, I had a hell of a job finding a wire that would fit. And I couldn't use either of those. Neither of those would work on this. I ended up taking, I didn't have more than one, I've only got one key for this. So I ended up measuring this, finding a piece of metal tube and silver soldering a lug on the end of it. It's not the prettiest job, but it does it. And then cutting half of the tube away just to create as much space as possible. And even then, I couldn't get my regular 1.6mm pick wires down there. I had to drop down to 1.2mm, which is something I prefer not to do because there's a bit too much flex in 1.2mm wire. It's very, very thin, but you know, needs must. If that's all that will fit. Now the other problem with this lock is it's not great with the feedback. You can't just go whacking the levers straight up. That doesn't appear to work. You have to sort of nibble away at each of the levers. And eventually it will open. So that's what I thought we'd do now. Just give it a quick pick, pop it open. So let's put that in there. Oh, come on. There you go. Now, I've seen people say you have to put a lot of tension on these. I haven't needed to do that. Moderate tension, but nothing too crazy. But what you do have to do with this is sort of nibble along at each of the levers one by one, just gently. And what happens is they'll gently sort of etch their way up, and eventually you'll get into the lock. But in the process of picking it, it doesn't give a lot away. The bolt movement and the lever movement is very subtle. Yeah, it just gave a little bit of movement then. The problem you've got, of course, this 1.2mm wire does flex. And that robs you of some feedback. But we are making progress. I can feel it sort of just gently moving. I think it might be perceptible on video. You can just watch that handle just gently move up bit by bit by bit. I think we're actually quite close now. But he's put up a pretty good fight. I've certainly found this to be a tougher pick than something like my Job Cruiser or most other sort of standard English lever padlocks. Not quite as tough as my Battleship, which I'm kind of glad about. Right, come on, we've got to be, I think we're very, very close now. There we go, that's open. Right, so that's it. Hope you thought that was interesting. And It's a really good padlock, that. All right. Enjoy your picking. Cheers.